When you're ready to get your legal contract for your tenants, we offer state-specific, fully customizable lease agreements. You can purchase a single custom lease agreement or unlock an unlimited number of lease agreements with our annual premium plan subscription. We walk you through a lease agreement wizard to fill out all the details of your agreement, starting with lease specifics by verifying the property address and the lease term dates. We'll ask you to fill in the details of your rental rates in this section, from the base monthly rent to any pet rent, prorated rent, the security deposit, other deposits, and pet deposits. If you have additional non-refundable fees like administrative fees or the last month's rent, you'll put those amounts in this section too. The late fee section of the TurboTenant lease agreement is pre-filled based on the specific state and does not allow for customization. If you have a late policy that differs from what is outlined, you'll want to include those details in the Provisions and Attachments section of the Lease Agreement Wizard. We encourage landlords to verify their state and local guidelines for charging late fees, and TurboTenant offers state-specific resources which you can check out here. Finally, you'll add the details of what type of payments you'll accept from your tenants. You can add in renters who already exist in your landlord portal, enter in a new tenant with their name and email address, or indicate that you'll add your tenants later. You can also add in additional occupants. Typically, this is where non-leaseholder dependents, such as kids, would be on the lease agreement. You'll then confirm your landlord details, and you can choose to add another landlord to the lease agreement if you need an additional signature on the document. The last step in this section is to indicate if the renters will have a separate mailing address or will be utilizing a cosigner for the lease agreement. In this section, you'll add details about any pets in the home, the type, breed, weight, and age. You can then indicate if you'll allow smoking at the property and can choose to include custom parking rules with the lease agreement. Then choose if you will require renter's insurance from your renters. We make it super easy for you to indicate which utilities are paid by you, the landlord, or being paid for by the tenant. If there are any shared utilities, we provide a text box for you to include the formula you use to determine what amount the tenant is responsible to pay for. The last part of this section is to indicate what keys your tenants will receive, from front door keys to mailbox keys, and even the garage door opener. The last part of the lease agreement wizard is for you to fill in any additional terms you may have for your contract. Keep in mind, whatever you include here will supersede what is already in the lease agreement. We'll ask if you need to include a lead paint disclosure in your lease agreement and give you the opportunity to type in more details about your rental property. You'll find a spot to attach documents to the lease agreement, whether you are including a drug-free housing addendum, an animal addendum, or property rules and regulations. All of these just happen to be included in our Ultimate Landlord Forms Pack, which you can purchase by itself or is included in our premium subscription. Depending on your state, we may also ask additional questions in this section, like a radon disclosure if you're using the lease agreement for Illinois or Florida, or information about rent concessions for the lease agreements in Cook County, Chicago, or Illinois. Once you've customized each section of the lease agreement, you can choose to save and finish later, allowing you the opportunity to finalize the agreement later, or delete the lease agreement. You can also select Review and e-sign to start the electronic signature process and have the document sent to your tenant for review and signature.